So let me just tell you before getting into the session itself that you are very wise for doing a quick start on this particular topic of how to prepare for interviews. Because we're given to understand आपका जो placement season है वो कुछ महीनों के बाद होने वाला है, यानी कि अभी से ये जुलाई के एंड से अगर आप शुरुआत करें आपका होमवर्क जो है प्रिपरेशन जो है उसको करना, you're going to find you're in a good space by November, December. So by the time the year rolls around, it'll be good for you. आप stress में नहीं रहोगे. Otherwise, typically बहुत सारे coaching classes, institutes में training दी जाती है, लेकिन वो placement के ठीक पहले होता है. We need to know we are addressing our minds. This is not like making a 2-minute coffee or 2-minute noodles or something that you can do it instantly. It takes a while. So all those of you who are here can firstly congratulate yourselves that you're getting an early start, a head start into this whole process. Another thing we'd like to tell you right now, if you can have paper and pen next to you as you're listening, that's going to be very helpful because from time to time, I'm going to ask you to reflect on a few things and maybe jot a few things down. तो आप सोच रहे होंगे तो क्या हम लोग दिमाग में ये चीजें नहीं कर सकते? Can we not just mentally think of the answers? Ma'am is asking. Yes, you can, but it helps to have something in writing. क्योंकि कुछ दिनों के बाद जब आप चीजें भूलने लगोगे और बहुत सारी दूसरी चीजें आपको ध्यान देनी पड़ेगी, उनके तरफ ध्यान देना पड़ेगा, then it may be a problem. So just have a paper and pen next to you or a notebook of some sort. That's going to be very useful. And at any point of time, अगर आपको लगे कि आपके दिमाग में कोई question है, just jot it down somewhere on your page. Use it in the chat box towards the end of the session. Session के अंत में हम आपको वो चांस देंगे कि आप आपके क्वेश्चंस शेयर करिए and we will be able to take up the questions at that time. Okay, so let me do a share screen and in the meantime let me tell you what is it that we have planned for you for today. तो हमने क्या किया है, कुछ स्लाइड्स आपके लिए बनाए हैं, उनको 4 भागों में हमने उसका एक विभाजन किया है. I think you'll be able to view what I'm showing you right now on the screen. So this is a set of 4 points that we're bringing in the Campus to Corporate program that we're doing right now. Our whole focus is to help you put your best foot forward. So with that in mind, these are the 4 things we talk about. We talk about what is your USP, यानी कि आपका unique selling proposition क्या है, what is unique about you as a brand, and how to find out that you're aligning your strengths with what your goals are, your dreams are. Second segment we talk about is how to groom and present yourself. Third, we get into body language, and fourth, we dwell on interview preparation. ये जो चौथा हिस्सा है इसके ऊपर थोड़ा ज्यादा ध्यान देंगे because this is our focus for today. But the first 3 parts are no less important, and I'll be focusing on the online interview interaction. The assumption is कि आपका face to face interview नहीं हो रहा है, लेकिन फिर भी face to face भी अगर हो, आज जो tips हम आपके साथ share करेंगे, those are applicable even for face to face interactions. So you're in a safe zone. So let's get into the first segment and keep your paper and pen. Again, I repeat, अगर दिमाग में कोई सवाल आए उसको jot down कर लीजिए so that you can ask us at the end of our session. And right now you can stay undistracted when you're listening. So in the first segment, the question to really begin with before we start any kind of interview preparation is, what is unique about me in terms of my value? What is so special about me? What is my brand? What is my brand identity? And another very embarrassing question is, what is our nickname? क्योंकि normally ऐसा होता है कि हर एक जन का एक कोई nickname होता है. If you're lucky, your nickname is a shortened version of your name or surname. Very often it is not. It is based on your traits or characteristics. So the question here is, what is it that makes me different and special? अभी आप सोच रहे होंगे कि planet Earth has got more than 7 billion people. Isn't it a big myth which is brainwashing ourselves that each one of us is special? The answer is no. Science and evolutionary biology will say no, each one is unique. And metaphysics will also say no, each one is unique. So Sanskrit में एक कहावत है, न भूतो न भविष्यति. No one like you has ever been born on this planet. No one like you will ever be there on this planet again. What is it that makes you distinctive? So I'd like you to just think about this for a few moments right now. Ask yourself, what adjectives would you use to describe yourself? ऐसे कौन से अच्छे पॉजिटिव अपबीट चीयरफुल वर्ड्स है जिसका इस्तेमाल आप करोगे अगर आपको खुद के बारे में बोलना पड़े, खुद की विशेषताओं के बारे में अगर बोलना पड़े? थिंक अबाउट दैट एंड इफ यू फील कंफर्टेबल, दिस इज कंप्लीटली वॉलंटरी, आप चैट बॉक्स का इस्तेमाल करके एक शब्द लिख सकते हैं, अ वर्ड विच यू थिंक बेस्ट डिस्क्राइब्स यू. प्लीज रिमेंबर वी आर टॉकिंग ऑफ गुड वर्ड्स. एक बार ये एक्सरसाइज करने पे एक स्टूडेंट ने बहुत प्राउडली लिखा, मैम आई गेट एंग्री फास्ट, आई एम एन एंग्री पर्सन. Now that's not the kind of input we're looking at here, and that is to be tackled separately. But the point is, everybody has got a lot of great qualities, good qualities within ourselves. What is it that you have in you that's unique? Think about it, take a few moments, write it on paper and pen. If you're comfortable, chat box में एक शब्द लिखिए. आपकी लिस्ट में आप 2-3 शब्द लिख सकते हैं. Okay, Anushka, could you please tell me in case any answers have come
Yes,
up?
ma'am. Determination, commitment.
Okay, good. Those are very good answers. And determination is one thing that makes a big difference to your success ratio, because today everybody is telling it's not about your IQ, it's not about whether you're a genius, it's not about whether you have talent. It's your sheer persistence, your determination to do something and stick to it till it is done, which determines whether you're going to be a successful person or not. So that's lovely. Commitment is also a great word to use for yourself.
More are there now. Caring, creative, stubborn, determination, helpful, serene, friendly. Anuradha, my itself is a synonym of uniqueness, positive attitude.
Wonderful. Lovely answers. And I can see the speed with which you all have written shows that at some point you have not overanalyzed things, thankfully. आपके मन में आपके खुद के लिए जो विचार हैं आपने उसको दर्शाया है, and that is lovely. That is truly commendable. It's nice to say that you're a calm person or a serene person, you're a friendly person, caring person, helpful person. All of those are good. When you say you're stubborn, that can be made to work in two ways. One is stubborn for something that's not so great, but it can also be stubbornness equal to determination. So I'm assuming जिन्होंने भी ये word का use किया है, इस्तेमाल किया है, I'm assuming that you mean it in a positive sense, in the correct sense, that you don't give up on things once you decide कि मुझे करना है तो करना है. It's like if an obstacle comes in your way and you're determined you need to reach your goal, you will go around the obstacle, but you will make sure that you do reach your goal. So the thing is, even before we discuss interviews, we need to ask ourselves, what is our ikigai? Now, this is a word many of us may be familiar with. ये Japanese शब्द है, लेकिन ये तो अभी हाल ही में contemporary कुछ सालों में ये popular हुआ है. इंडिया में एक शब्द हमारे वेद शास्त्रों में पाया जाता है जिसका the word which is I'm talking about is called Swadharma. Swadharma is very similar in that sense to Ikigai, which is very similar to purpose of life, goal clarity. What we are saying is, आपके जो traits है, whatever is special about you, अभी जो चीजें आपने लिखा, you have to align that with what you plan to do. For example, someone who says, I'm a friendly person, a helpful person, or let's say I'm a people person, people oriented. If you choose to go for a job that needs you to sit down by yourself at a desk and just do number crunching, and there is no interaction with people, there is no, let's say, laughter, banter, give and take, conversations, casual chat, after some time, you're going to get very frustrated. आप ऊब जाओगे उस तरह का जो एक job है उससे. Instead of that, if you find some work which allows you to tap into the basic human friendliness aspect of your personality, you're going to be far happier. That is the meaning of Ikigai, and that is the meaning of working as per your Swadharma when it comes to doing whatever you're doing in the world. Unfortunately, क्या होता है बचपन से लेके आज तक हमें ये चीजें सिखाई नहीं जाती है. We are told to get good marks. We look around and see कि कौन से प्रोफेशन में मार्क्स अच्छे होते हैं, अच्छे मिलते हैं और जॉब्स अच्छी होती है, वहां पे सैलरीज अच्छा मिलता है. We go for that. No, there's nothing wrong. Please note, that is not something which is bad. But that is not the best we can be. Imagine if Mr. Sachin Tendulkar was not given the chance to play cricket but was told that you need to be a doctor or an engineer. Or imagine if any of our great musicians were told that आप बांसुरी क्यों बजा रहे हो, आप तबला क्यों बजा रहे हो, जाके कुछ लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग करो या कोडिंग सीखो और do some such thing. You know what I'm talking about. There's a misalignment. An intelligent person can do maybe 50 things quite well, but he or she will be happy when he or she is pursuing the passion which the person is endowed with. So हर एक पर्सन में, हर एक इंसान में कुछ स्पेशल चीजें होती है, कुछ खासियत होता है, तो उसके हिसाब से आप काम को अगर चूज करो तो अच्छा है. So let's see a diagram of this ikigai. As you can see on this slide, there are 4 circles. And I'd like you to just take a good look at this particular picture. What you love, what you're good at, the first 2 circles, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. Now, आपको लगेगा कि ये 2 चीजें शायद एक ही हैं. Are they not the same? The answer is no. I'll give you my own example. So I have done my bachelor's in commerce from NM Commerce, and then I did my MBA in finance from Narsee Monjee Institute. I loved statistics, econometrics, operations research. I managed to score full marks by God's grace in university level exams at my MBA for these subjects, some of these subjects. Did I love them enough to pursue them as a career? The answer is no. I enjoyed them and I was good at it. Similarly, I remember scoring full marks in accounts, but when my balance sheet tallied, it didn't make me feel, wow, wonderful, I feel so good about life. That was not the feeling. However, when I started reading up on ethics, human values, cultures, learning about human skills, what we call as life skills, and getting into that domain, that gave me the feeling of wow. So you may be good at 10 things, but out of the 10 things, you may love only 2 or 3. Your job is to discover what those 2, 3 are and try and have jobs which match. And right now, you may be having a question in your minds. Ma'am, what if we don't get the job which is as per our traits? Fair enough. Your first job or even second job may not exactly be aligned with who you are, but doing this exercise now gives you a higher probability of choosing when you have choice, be it now, be it later. आप खुद को अगर अभी से जानने लगो, तो दुनिया के साथ कैसे बर्ताव करना है, किसके साथ रिश्ता रखना है, कौन से कंपनीज की तरफ जाना है, आप उसको समझ जाओगे. For example, if you're an anti-monopolistic sort of person, there are a lot of young people who are very idealistic. They don't like large corporations and monopolies. Then obviously you're not the kind of person who should be applying to large global companies like Apple, Google, Microsoft, etc. with all due respect to them. Because your principles will clash against what these corporations stand for. So knowing who you are is the first crucial step before you start to interact with the world. The third and fourth are quite logical and obvious, what the world needs and what you can be paid for. Again, I'll tell you why these two don't align. There's a simple example. आप सोशल वर्क को देख लीजिए, या तो जैसे वेस्लार्क में हम लोग काउंसलिंग करते हैं, हमारे काउंसलर्स है, काउंसलिंग के काम को देख लीजिए. द वर्ल्ड डेफिनेटली नीड्स दैट बिग टाइम. The world needs more social activists, social reformers, change agents, counselors. But does everybody in that domain get paid? Not necessarily. And do they get paid commensurate with their competence and skills? Again, not necessarily. The world may be paying much more for someone who knows how to code, who knows machine learning, who knows big data, data analytics, so on and so forth. That's a different story. तो हमें क्या करना है? We have to first write out our points for these 2 circles and then come to these 2 and see कि ये जो लिस्ट हमने बनाई है उसमें से कौन सी ऐसी चीजें हैं जो दुनिया के लिए भी उपयोगी है और दुनिया उसके लिए पैसे देने के लिए राजी है. The world is willing to pay for it. So this is the practical part. this is the ideal part of who I am. And this is where we say, okay, now let's see whether the world is going to support us. So for example, that's why when I started off as an investment banker, I knew that a few years in investment banking would give me a certain financial stability and security, because the world is very much willing to pay for that domain. Whereas once I move into ethics, values, human skills, etc., it's a rare sort of domain. So initially it is a little difficult and challenging perhaps to be able to take care of your financial security in such domains. So right now, again, I'm just going to pause for a few moments and give you time. अगर आपके दिमाग में खुद के बारे में कुछ पॉइंट्स अभी आए, कुछ ऐसे सवाल आए या तो थॉट्स आए that this is who I am as per the 4 circles, please jot it down. Take the time right now in a few moments to jot that down. All right. And we move ahead therefore into the very obvious bridge कि एक बार ये एक्सरसाइज आप अच्छे से करिए खुद के लिए, उसके बाद आप जो भी इंटरव्यू प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं, align your ikigai, your strengths with the company. So for example, if you are good at something and you enjoy doing it, and that is a skill which the company needs, demonstrate during the interview through your words by giving examples that this is what I'm able to offer and this is what your company needs. Simple example, let's say you enjoy costing and you know that the company that you're applying for is got a big focus on, let's say, costing using ratios. If you can show that, if you can say how you began learning about it, what was the extra reading you did, or maybe you presented a paper somewhere, or you attended a few conferences or research seminars, or maybe you read the work of some authors and you found out new ratios which are there, or you're revisiting certain classics like standard cost, variance, etc., and you're trying to see in what way in today's day and age they're applicable in this post-pandemic scenario. Talk about that in terms of your ikigai, matching it to what your company needs. So your company knows that by hiring you, they're getting someone who's ready to give value from day one, who can contribute from day one. Now we come to our next segment. After having seen who I am, after having seen our traits and our ikigai, the question arises, what is the first impression that we make when we appear in front of our interviewers? So we talk about grooming and presenting ourselves. Now, although I have used a gentleman's picture here, be it a gentleman or a lady, be it a man or a woman, a boy or a girl, one needs to have a lot of attention given to how we present ourselves, be it in face-to-face, real life, or on camera. Right from your hair to your clothes, to the spectacles that you use if you're wearing specs. If you're a lady and you're wearing accessories, the accessories that you're wearing, if you're wearing any jewelry, the jewelry that you're wearing, everything counts under this particular aspect of grooming and appearance. Let me share with you some examples from my own experience as an interviewer. तो जैसे कि मैंने बताया कि I'm an alumna of NMIMS, and every year typically as part of the panelists who are there for admission for higher studies, I get to interact with a lot of young people from all over the country. And they have been coming and visiting the campus in Villeparle where we have our interviews. And of course, this year when we went online, the whole thing was done online. A few things which I noted and found the successful people do, the students who are aware about this, they stay elegant, classic and understated. उनके जो कपड़े होते हैं, if it's a boy or a girl wearing a western suit, it is never loud in terms of color. It's always simple and classic, neat, clean, well ironed, well pressed. You don't have to buy new clothes necessarily, but you need to make sure whatever you're wearing, you're able to put the best foot forward. Now, when it comes to your appearance on camera, the rules become a little more complex. आज मैंने deliberately ऐसी एक साड़ी पहनी है जिसमें print है. You're going to notice that makes things look a little noisy, in the sense when you use prints, and this is particularly true for girls, for our ladies, you are actually causing a little bit of a visual distraction. It's at a very subconscious, subliminal sort of level. कॉन्शियस माइंड में ये नहीं होता है क्योंकि आपके सामने जो इंटरव्यूअर्स हैं, they are rational, intelligent, well experienced people, but a little part of their mental bandwidth is consumed by the stimulus which their eyes relate in the brain. So one of the important tips is please wear solid colors. Do not have, let's say, checks, stripes. In the case of ladies, prints. If you're wearing a suit, make sure that it's either a navy or a black suit. Don't go for colors which are a little out there, over the top. There are different shades of aquamarine, and you have pinks and many other colors. Those are great for other occasions, but not for online interviews. Stick to the classics. Ladies have a little bit more of leeway. You can have Indian formal dress or Western formal dress. Make sure you actually practice by rehearsing, by wearing that outfit, whatever you want to wear for your interviews, well in advance, so that you're not fidgeting with the tie if you're a man, and you're not fidgeting with your dupatta or sari ka palla if you're a lady, and you're not fidgeting with your blazer either if you're a boy or a girl, because sometimes when we are not very used to certain garments, we end up showing our discomfort on screen and in person. Don't let that happen. Secondly, make sure that the camera is going to capture just the face and your torso. You may think it's enough for you to just be dressed to that much extent properly. The answer is no. Your brain knows whether you're fully, formally, protocol-wise dressed or not. So make sure that it's not that you're wearing track pants or pajamas, because then your mind is also going to be to that much extent affected. We know when we are slackening off, and slackening off doesn't help when you want to put the best foot forward. You want to be sharp. You want to be laser sharp and focused, which means be congruent. Have that integrity. ऐसा नहीं कि कैमरा के सामने जो दिखाना है सिर्फ उसके ऊपर ध्यान देना है. आप जो हो, integrated इंसान हो, so you need to take care of that. Let's go ahead from here. These are some of the colors which typically we talk about. In our case, of course, the shoes and bags part is not going to come in for the ladies. But like we said, make sure even your accessories are going to be neutral. We've already talked about this, so I'll just give you a few moments. Take a look at this and then we'll go ahead. When you do interviews in the physical world, this particular slide becomes relevant for you because right up to your footwear, everything is visible. In fact, one of the fun things I like to do as a panelist in interviews is watch the candidate as he or she enters the room and leaves the room and focus on the footwear. I have seen people wearing extremely costly garments, branded eyewear, branded watches, and having shabby shoes. To me, that raises a red flag because it means हम दिखावे के लिए कुछ चीजें कर रहे हैं, लेकिन असल में हम डिटेल ओरिएंटेड नहीं हैं. जूते जो है वो पॉलिश किए हुए नहीं है, वो साफ सुथरे नहीं है. They're shabby, they're scuffed. There's a problem with that because it shows as a personality I'm not being an integrated person. I would be very wary of even hiring such a person because there is a discrepancy in what is being presented to the world and what one actually is. In the post-pandemic world, we will be having handshakes again. So one quick slide just to acquaint you with some of the basic rules. So handshakes में typically हम जो करते हैं that is called a brisk global shake, which is what is called a web-to-web contact. इसको web कहते हैं, between the forefinger and the thumb, the skin which is there. So you hold the hand firmly and you just do a couple of pumping motions up and down of the hand. That's called the brisk global shake. You need to make sure the handshake is strong and firm. If you're a gentleman shaking hands with a lady, what should you do? So in general, just make sure, this protocol is kept in mind. The initiator is the interviewee, the host, the lady, and the superior. In other words, if you're a man meeting a lady for the first time, you wait for her to give her hand for shaking, because otherwise there are times when you give your hand and if she chooses not to reciprocate, you would be left in a very embarrassing situation. You don't know what to do, and then you have to kind of disguise that gesture. In the post-pandemic world, handshakes will take some time to come back. So be aware of that. But right now, just take a look at the rules. ये जो rules मैं आपको बता रही हूँ, this applies globally, not just within India, because in India, handshakes के साथ साथ नमस्ते का भी इस्तेमाल होता है. Although in the professional environment today, handshakes are usually preferred, but namaste is getting big time popularity on account of the virus. If you are in doubt as a man whether or not to shake hands with a lady, then don't. Because there are enough rules concerning this, which we will not get into now, but one can go majorly wrong if one doesn't do things the right way. Also, a very helpful rule, if you're introduced to a group of people and you can clearly make out somebody there is the most senior, always start by shaking hands with the most senior person first and then move through the room. So as per the rule, you're supposed to go anti-clockwise, लेकिन ये छोटी-छोटी बातें कभी ध्यान में रहती है, कभी नहीं रहती हैं. No one is going to lynch you if you go wrong with this. Just understand, when you're genuine and sincere about what you do, your mistakes will be forgiven. These are not deal breakers. ऐसा नहीं कि अगर आप कोई गलती करते हो, चूक जाते हो, तो आपको कोई दोषी ठहराएगा या तो बड़ा कुछ नुकसान हो जाएगा. It's not like that. But we want to come across as very polished. We don't want to seem unsophisticated and crude. That's the reason why we're discussing this. So I just wanted to illustrate what we're talking about in terms of mistakes by showing you this picture. So you have Mr. Bill Gates in one frame and Mr. Mark Zuckerberg in the other, both shaking hands with one of the previous premiers of South Korea, Park Geun-hye. And you can see how Mr. Bill Gates has clasped her hand, and you can see what Mark Zuckerberg is doing. Take a moment and ask yourself, which of them do you think is doing the correct handshake? You don't need to write this in the chat box. आप खुद आपके मन में इसका आंसर सोचिए. And the correct answer is Mark Zuckerberg, meaning this person. This is the correct handshake. This is not. There are multiple things going wrong in this handshake. The first, he has pulled her hand forward without extending his own arm. That's rude, especially if you're a man shaking hands with a lady. Second, the way in which he has clasped the hand, his fingers go right up to the wrist. That is not supposed to be the clasp. This is the correct clasp. It's only the hand. Third, Mr. Gates has put his left hand in his pocket. You never shake hands with your left hand in the pocket. Now, the thing is, it's a different story that if you're one of the world's richest people, etc., you can pretty much get away with anything. But it's fun to see how some of our most iconic and well-known faces can go very wrong when it comes to body language, grooming, presenting oneself, and certain protocols. Going ahead from here, there's one slide I wanted to talk about today, which is about introductions. And this is one slide which has points telling us how not to go wrong with things we take for granted. The first thing is how we say our name. Now, आप सोच रहे होंगे नाम तो सबको पता है. But the mistake we make in terms of English grammar is we say myself so and so. The correct sentence is my name is so and so. We don't say myself so and so. And then wish the person good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever be the time of the day. इसमें भी students हड़बड़ा जाते हैं. Very often, maybe you are waiting for your turn for a long time. You're stressed out, you're worried, you're thinking what questions will be asked. I've had candidates whom I'm interviewing at 7 in the evening who are wishing me good morning. Now, out of sheer politeness, I don't point out their mistake because I know they're already worried and tense. That's why they're making such a basic error. The main thing to do is just take a deep breath before you come on camera and have your interview, and in the physical world before you enter the room where you're going in for your interview. Just take one deep breath. अच्छे से inhale, अच्छे से exhale. Trust me, I'm telling you from the neuroscience perspective and the yogasan perspective, even one inhale, exhale is enough for you to bring down that racing heart, to bring down the blood pressure, to stop your cortisol and adrenaline and the stress hormones from hijacking your body so that you are less likely to go wrong. And remember, on Zoom, you need to smile wider. Now, that needs to be genuine. Interviews में genuine smile बहुत कम candidates करते हैं because Understandably, they're stressed and nervous. So that happens. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't have a crocodile smile. वो मगरमच्छ की तरह दांत दिखा के पूरा, मैम ने कहा था हंसना है, स्माइल करना है, तो चलो दांत दिखा के मैं हंस देता हूँ या देती हूँ. No, don't do that. Just be your authentic self. The more you're confident and comfortable as a person with who you are, the better you'll be able to project your personality, be it on camera or be it in person. And very often, you may be asked initially as an icebreaker a little bit about yourself. So you need to have these very quickly in your mind so that you're not fumbling for words. Which institute you're from, what is your qualification, what are you applying for, and which are the interest domains you have. Now, does this mean this constitutes the answer to the question, tell me something about yourself? No, it doesn't. Uske बारे में आगे देखेंगे. This is the question which is most underutilized. And I'm saying this after more than a decade of experience as an interviewer. ज्यादातर स्टूडेंट्स, ज्यादातर कैंडिडेट्स इस प्रश्न का सही उपयोग नहीं करते हैं. When you're asked, tell me something about yourself, you need to capture the attention of the interviewers by telling them things which are not there in whatever paperwork you've given them. आपने जो भी SOP अगर उनको कुछ दिया है, कुछ रेज्यूमे उनको भेजा है, कुछ सीवीज उनके पास है, आपके मार्कशीट्स, आपके ट्रांसक्रिप्ट्स उनके पास है, उसको छोड़ के जो बाकी की चीजें हैं, the intangible things which make you the person you are, that is what you need to be talking about. तो ये जो प्रश्न है, इसके 2 वर्जन्स आपको लिखना है. Preferably today, once our session is over, please sit down with paper and pen. I will be telling you examples of other important interview questions, लेकिन उनका आप preparation करो नहीं करो, इस प्रश्न का प्लीज आप प्रिपरेशन पहले से करके रखना. यू नीड टू वर्क ऑन इट फॉर अ लेंथ ऑफ टाइम. इसको पॉलिश करना होता है. शॉर्ट वर्जन आंसर, लॉन्ग वर्जन आंसर. जैसे आप स्कूल में किया करते थे ना, 3 मार्क का क्वेश्चन हुआ तो इतना लिखना है, 5 मार्क का हुआ तो इतना लिखना है, दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग. When this question is given to you as an icebreaker, you will use the short version. But when the interviewer or interviewers are all focusing and looking at you, and one of them asks, tell me something about yourself, that's the time you use the longer version. You will know, आपका instinct आपको बताएगा कि आपको कौन सा वाला version use करना है. And when in doubt, use a small version and say, may I please elaborate on that? That's it. So you're smart. You'll know how to also pull in points from the longer version. तो जो छोटा संक्षिप्त version है, उसमें क्या डालना है? Adjectives to describe yourself. One example from your life which demonstrates a few of those traits and adjectives. यानी कि समझ लीजिए आपके लाइफ में गॉड फॉरबिड कोई दुर्घटना घटी या आपके फैमिली में कुछ इश्यूज हुए. Maybe you faced certain financial challenges, maybe there were health challenges, maybe there were emotional issues, maybe you or your family went through a tough time. उसके बावजूद आप डटे रहे, पढ़ाई के ऊपर आपने ध्यान दिया, आपने एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज करी. Maybe some of you are inclined towards social service as well, so उसके ऊपर भी आपने ध्यान दिया. Talk about that one incident which shows that you have those traits, and use a final sentence to connect it with the company that you're talking to. So for example, if I'm Hindustan Unilever and you know that we've got a strong retail presence, you will talk to me in a certain manner. If I'm Procter & Gamble, your pitch may change. If I'm a bank, an Indian private bank, if I'm Kotak Bank, you will talk in a certain way. If I'm SBI, you will talk separately. If I'm a foreign bank, you're going to talk separately. तो आपका जो आंसर है उसका कंटेंट ज्यादा बदलेगा नहीं, लेकिन आप उसको किस तरह से प्रेजेंट करते हो, हाउ यू आर प्रेजेंटिंग एंड पिचिंग, दैट इज गोइंग टू चेंज. थिंक ऑफ इट एज अ गिफ्ट रैपिंग. तो वो जो रैपिंग है वो चेंज होगा, अंदर का कंटेंट उतना चेंज नहीं होता है. So based on the company that you're applying to, I repeat, the last part of this answer is going to change. The first part doesn't change. The adjectives you use to describe yourself and whatever incident you want to link. If time permits, in the longer version, you must talk of your long-term goals and again show how those are aligned with the company that you're applying to. So for example, let's say if you have a subject, international finance, and you know that the company you're applying to has got a large international finance department and they've been growing, and maybe in the press you have done some reading about them, या तो उनके वेबसाइट से आपने कुछ होमवर्क किया है, आपने देखा है उनके कुछ recent milestones कंपनी के हुए हैं, या बैंक का कुछ recent developments हुआ है. Talk about that and link it with your interest area. So maybe you're doing a course on Coursera or Udemy based on international finance, one aspect of it. Or maybe taxation based aap kuch kar rahe ho. Yeah, you've got a niche interest in, let's say, European taxes and how those differ, and how large companies sometimes use certain countries as tax shelters in order to avoid paying large amounts of corporate tax. Maybe that is your domain area. Talk about it and link it to the company again. So जो longer version है उसमें आप future का भी दिखाओगे. This is the essential difference between the short and the long versions. And of course, finally, this is not a formula. आपके personality के हिसाब से, company के हिसाब से और उस situation के needs के हिसाब से आप answer को customize करोगे. That is an art which all of us know. We do it instinctively. Just be comfortable. Make sure you breathe deep and you're not nervous. You will be in the flow. Everything is going to be fine. Now we come to body language. Now, आप सोच रहे होंगे, just now we spoke of grooming. Wasn't that the same as body language? The answer is no. There is some more of detailing we need to discuss, because 70% of our communication is body language. And in the virtual world, this gets really complicated because only a part of yourself is visible on camera. So although there are many categories, for the purpose of simplicity, I have listed only 5 on this particular slide. Please take a look at the core categories of body language. Please note there are many more. So there's this sociologist called Edward T. Hall who describes 11 categories of body language. मैंने उस 11 categories से कुछ categories चुन के यहाँ पे लिखा है. First is posture. If I'm sitting slumped like this and my shoulders are hunched and my spine is all compressed, I look like someone who's sad and defeated, someone who's given up on life, someone who's not going to be a good employee, definitely not a good recruit. So the first thing is posture. Students, I can share with you, as an international corporate trainer, Indians unfortunately have very poor posture. I have worked and interacted with people from Russia, South Korea, France, USA, Venezuela, Thailand, Singapore, UK, Oman. Across the board, I have found in general people are trained from childhood to have good posture. Indians, unfortunately, we sit like a sack of potatoes. We sit as if we don't have a spine. With all due respect to Indians, I'm sure this is not applicable to everybody. But you walk into a classroom when physical classes are on, सब लोग ऐसे बैठे हैं. And please don't even ask online classes में क्या होता है. We all know that. Get your posture straight. Now you may ask why. The science of it is very simple. Your brain needs to be in perfect gear for you to answer questions. Brain consumes an enormous amount of oxygen. If it has to get the correct amount of oxygen, your lung has to be working properly. For the lung to work properly, you can't sit scrunched up and hunched. You have to sit tall so that your entire lung and rib cage gets the right kind of volume of space in order to do its job properly. So it's basically all science. Second point, facial expressions and smiling. Suppose I were to do this entire presentation this way and say, students, it is very important for us to pay attention to all these points that are listed on the slide. After a while, you're going to be wondering, what's this? Some new form of AI? And you'll say, I'm going to give bad feedback. This is not how it should be. It needs to be more human. Why? Because our facial expressions in general, they do change. We smile, we frown, we laugh, we make gestures using our hands. All of that comes in. Eye contact is with the camera, because you will not be always able to make eye contact with the person. So it's with the camera of whatever, the mobile screen or the laptop that you're using. Your voice, as you have seen, you can hear me going with up pitch and down pitch. That's the way in which we talk. Avoid using fillers. When you use words like ki, means, basically, actually, that sound that we make sometimes, You are trying to fill a gap between your words with a sound to show that you're actually thinking. Drop the filler. If you don't know what filler you use, ask your friends, ask your family. They'll be happy to tell you. Most of us, in our reckoning, most people do use fillers. Check it and see what is your filler. Figure it out. And you can make a fun game. You can tell people around you कि मैंने ये word या ये sound अगर ज़्यादा use किया, ज़्यादा क्यों एक बार भी use किया, I will pay a small fine and make a little jar where you put in a fine. Or you can, in home, you can trade it for a chore. Ask your parents to spot you and tell them that every time they catch you using that word, that sound, you're going to do a small task in the house for them. So it's going to be a win-win. They'll be happy, you'll be happy. And then gestures. Now, gestures on camera, there's a fun fact about it. You would realize that if I'm gesturing here, it's fine. But if I start gesturing here, मैं अगर आपको कहूँ कि ये सारी चीजें important है, you're going to see my hand in close up and that's going to look quite strange. And I'm using a polite word when I say strange. So very simple and obvious. Fingers को scattered मत रखिए, body के पास रखिए. Keep a distance of at least 3 to 3.5 feet between the camera and yourself, and the gesture should be in that zone. Some people don't like to gesture at all. They sit like जैसे ध्यान में बैठे हुए ऋषि मुनि होते हैं, उस तरह से बैठते हैं. There's no harm in doing that as long as that is your natural style and personality. Like in my case, it's not. I'm somebody who gestures if I were to do a real life face-to-face workshop as well. So I'm doing the same on camera. I just make sure my hands are closer to the body and not far away from the body because otherwise the camera catches it differently. Now on this slide, you can see there's a picture. There are multiple errors happening here, as a matter of fact. When we think hard and also when we're trying to cover up something, we tend to tug our earlobes. Not everybody does it. Some people have a tell, as it is called. These are called tells, meaning they are little signs and gestures we make unknowingly. They tell the other person that there is something wrong with what we're saying. Perhaps we're telling a lie. Sometimes we also cover our mouth while talking. Be very careful because please understand our bodies and brains have evolved over tens of thousands of years, configured to speak the truth. We are not configured to tell lies. आप अगर कोई चीज exaggerate करो, कुछ चीज ऐसा बोलो जो सही नहीं है, your body language will give it away. So therefore, one of the things which we have coming up in the slide, but I'll tell you right now, be truthful, be authentic. If you don't know an answer, there's no shame in admitting you don't know it. And then of course also talk about what you do know. So ऐसा नहीं कि मुझे आता नहीं है and then that's it, you sit back with a happy smile. But understand body language will reveal what is going on in the head. Similarly, when you're looking at the camera with a vacant expression and you have your chin getting supported by the hand, that's a complete no-no. Also in the first part of the picture, you can see the eyes are looking away at an angle and downwards. That is also when one is thinking of what story to say, what to actually say and narrate, which means you're not completely there, you're not focused, you're not being mindful. So these are tiny errors. The camera captures this much more than you get to see in the physical world. Now here also there is a problem. If you see the way in which the configuration is, the person's face and eyes are at a much higher level as compared to the laptop screen. The camera is going to be somewhere here, which means the angle of the camera is something like this. Now that is not your most flattering camera angle. You need to know that. We've actually had sessions last year. I remember attending a few conferences organized by other people, other colleges, where initially when the thing starts and the speaker comes on camera, you get a close-up of the person's nostrils. I'm not exaggerating. That's been known to happen. And it can give rise to the most hilarious of situations completely unknowingly. We don't want that to happen. In general, the camera should be at eye level. थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे होता है, वो चलेगा. That's not a problem. But ज़्यादा नीचे अगर हुआ, there is an issue. So don't let that be there. These are different images of how close-ups of the eye appear when we are thinking and when we are visible on camera. Students, again I'm repeating, online world and online interviews में ये सारी चीजें बहुत मायने रखती है. आपके सामने जो interviewers होंगे, वो ये इन बातों पे ध्यान definitely देंगे, जरूर देंगे, because most people are trained to do that. That's why they're interviewers. You can see different expressions here. This is, for example, the shifty-eyed look. This is a very dangerous look. This is looking into the camera. There's no problem with it, but it's a slightly blank and glazed sort of look. This one carries a bit of fear. This one, for some people, comes across as confident. For some people, comes across as slightly pessimistic. Here, there is either anxiety or there is criticism. And here, there is either neutrality or there is a touch of anxiety. Different people, again, interpret in various ways. We need to be mindful of this. Our gestures are exaggerated. Like we said, facial expressions are more visible and lower body gestures are less visible. This doesn't mean आपका अगर कोई ऐसा habit है, आप पाँव ऐसे हिलाते हो. I know a lot of students who, when they get nervous, they keep jiggling their feet. That you should continue doing it because it's not visible on camera. Please remember, you are an integrated human being. Just be fine, be on the right track. वो ठहराव अपने आप में रखिए and stay focused. In terms of posture, it is definitely indirectly evident. Eye contact can seem exaggerated, and like we said some time back, your paralanguage is very important. The way in which you speak, your pitch and tone, those become very important. Fillers na use kare, like we just now said. And if you look at the logistics, already this I have spoken of, but it's very obvious, internet ka bhi connectivity aapke liye important hai. And of course, people are very much aware that we are dependent on technology, so nobody really minds. No marks get deducted in case there's a technical glitch. But then you shouldn't misuse that. I know students who will say, ma'am, I've got an internet issue, I need to keep my camera off. Now, please note, you may actually end up losing marks if you do that. You can lose points if you do that, because if you're not fully visible, not everyone will give you the benefit of the doubt. Just keep that in mind. Have a neutral background behind you. Don't have anything that's distracting, too colorful, too large. Don't have a window, for example, जहाँ पे बाहर कुछ दूसरा building दिखता है, पेड़ पौधे दिखते हैं. Draw a curtain in that case. Make sure your lighting and your background is correct. Don't have backlighting, otherwise your face will appear dark. Obviously, be in undisturbed space. Keep paper, pen, and water next to you handy. जैसे अभी मैं ये वर्कशॉप ले रही हूँ तो I have a glass of water next to me in case I need to just moisten my throat. I have it right next to me. And do not have written answers near you. I can't emphasize how important this is. Students have come to us with queries. कभी पूछते हैं कि मैम ऑनलाइन में तो सब कुछ दिखता नहीं है. Can we not have a sheet with just the basic points written, like a cheat code, a cheat sheet or something? I tell them no. Two things happen. A, your eye contact changes. If, for example, right now I'm looking down at what I have written somewhere, you clearly know as the viewer that I'm not looking at you and I'm looking elsewhere. And that makes you doubt what I'm saying because you know it's not in my head. The second thing that happens is you yourself are making yourself a bit fallible. Instead of trying to be confident, instead of trying to be sure of what you're going to say, you're telling yourself it's all right. मेरे पास तो लिखा हुआ है, अगर मैं भूल जाऊं तो उसको एक बार देख लूंगा या देख लूंगी. Don't get into that trap. An interview is nothing but simply presenting to the world what you are and what you know. So become sure about who you are and what you know so that you don't need that paper. In terms of talking, balance between being formal and being animated. एकदम robotic नहीं बनना है और एकदम हा हा ही नहीं करना है. This is pretty obvious, but it still needs to be told because there have been times I have encountered candidates at both extremes. There are candidates who are so chirpy and cheerful. You almost feel if they were in front of you, they'd give you a little whack on your back and say, nice meeting you. Let's meet for coffee or some such thing. And you're thinking, really, I'm not your buddy. And you find the other opposite as well, where people are so formal that they're downright stiff and rigid. So stiff and rigid नहीं होना है, लेकिन completely informal भी नहीं बनना है. So you keep it formal at the same time conversational. And on this note, we now go into our fourth and final segment, which is actually the longest segment, which is on interviews. Now in this section, what I'll do is first show you one small slide, and then we'll get into strategies as well as questions. So in this slide, I'm just telling you What are the essentials to keep in mind? Personal interview matlab kya? There are three categories of things where you have to be competent. First is knowing yourself, for example, doing the Ikigai exercise, having enough examples written out on paper to support adjectives which you use for yourself. For example, agar aap kehte ho, I'm a friendly person, give an example of that. I'm a determined person, give an example of how you faced a tough time and how you managed to be successful because you're a determined and persistent person. If you say you're a creative person, give an example. आप कोई स्टूडेंट कमिटी में थे, कुछ प्रॉब्लम हुआ, आपने आपके क्रिएटिविटी का इस्तेमाल करके प्रॉब्लम का हल ढूंढ के निकाला. द सेकेंड पार्ट इज द सब्जेक्ट्स. राइट फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट ईयर आपके जितने सारे सब्जेक्ट्स रहे हैं उसके जो फंडामेंटल्स है उसके ऊपर कोई भी प्रश्न अगर आपको पूछा जाए आपको उसका जवाब, उसका उत्तर आना चाहिए. You can't say, I'm sorry, I've forgotten, that was in the first year. Saying that is really lame. So what do you need to do? Plan out your time, revisit your previous material, make sure, especially जो subjects आपको पसंद नहीं थे, make sure you know the fundamentals of that. Based on the subject and the volume, you could be looking at maybe definitions, examples, applications in the industry. मान लीजिए आपको taxation पसंद नहीं था. Pay specific importance to common sense kind of questions that could be asked on taxation. Put yourself in the interviewer's shoes. Nobody is going to do a memory test and ask you, okay, let's say, जैसे corporate tax में, what was section 372 of the Companies Act? You don't need to know that. But if I tell you it has to do with intercorporate lending, then आपके दिमाग में वो बत्ती जलनी चाहिए that yes, there needs to be a cap of 20 or 25% that if one subsidiary company is giving a loan to another subsidiary company, it cannot do so at harm to its own balance sheet. तो ये जो common sense का एक approach होता है, आपको वो रखना है. You decide how much time you will take, which is why I told you in the beginning of today's workshop that you can pat yourself for starting early because this is a place where most students go wrong. We are tired of hearing an answer from interview candidates who say, I'm sorry, I forgot. And there are some candidates who really walk away with the prize. They say, I didn't have that subject. And then we show them the transcript. कि बच्चों आपका ये subject था first year में, second year में. And then they look very sheepish and embarrassed and say, I'm sorry, I've forgotten. And that's even worse. So please don't let that happen. आपका पसंदीदा subject हो या ना हो, you have to know the fundamentals of every subject that you have officially learned and then some. You ideally should be knowing some more. You should be knowing about the latest trends. You should be knowing about the corporate developments. You should be knowing if there's a change of law being proposed. The third part of your homework has to do with the company. And obviously, आप अगर 10 companies में, 12 companies में आपके applications आप उनको भेजते हो, उसका मतलब ये है कि आपको 12 कंपनीज, 15 कंपनीज, जितना भी कंपनीज हो उसके ऊपर आपको काम करना है. Like we said earlier, identify your unique selling or unique value proposition. Identify questions and write down their answers. And most important, remember the interview is just one of the many milestones in life. Keep it in perspective. It's not a life and death situation. Very often we have seen very nice students, good students, intelligent students getting nervous and then forgetting what they wanted to say, fumbling. And you can see when they finish the interview, there's a bit of regret. There's also a feeling of relief. It's like, chalo, khatam hua. And at the same time, there's also a feeling of regret because they know they haven't done their best. So just keep it in perspective. Before you start an interview, tell yourself this is not life and death. All is well. Everything is going to be fine. And of course, do your homework before that. Homework बिना किए अगर आप all is well कहोगे तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. You have to do the homework and then trust your brain. So now let's get into some slides where we talk about our work. Take a look. In this and the next slide, I'm just going to show you what are the fundamental things that you need to work on. So just now we said, जो subjects आपने पढ़ा है उसके ऊपर आपको answers आना चाहिए. Be it costing, be it taxation, be it accounting, be it international finance, it can be anything. Also, please have in your mind what would be your future areas of interest. Again, it is a very lame thing to say you are equally enthusiastic about everything. That's not true, and that's usually not possible. everyone has their interest areas. So when I finished my finance, although I was picked up initially for the debt department, private placement of debt, we were to structure various kinds of bonds and debentures. Very quickly, they pulled me into marketing because my seniors in my company, they sort of identified that as a stronger strength of mine. So I was then doing both. And then they also put me into training of new recruits. So that was a third thing that came in. But once when they talked to me and asked, what is your interest area for the future? I clearly told them it's more at the organizational level, not so much of the training, etc. It's to do with fundamentals of the balance sheet analysis part as well as designing the instruments, the bonds, debentures. So you need to be clear कि आपको फ्यूचर में कौन से एरिया में इंटरेस्ट है ना. समटाइम्स यू मे से मैम कंफ्यूजन है, क्लैरिटी नहीं है, नो प्रॉब्लम. थिंक ऑफ अ 2-year प्लान, अ 3-year प्लान. नोबडी इज सेइंग कि 5 साल के बाद, 10 साल के बाद आपको कौन से एरिया में इंटरेस्ट होने वाला है. एटलीस्ट अगले 2 साल में आपको क्या पढ़ना है, क्या समझना है, क्या सीखना है, विच इज अ डोमेन यू वांट टू वर्क ऑन. Incidentally, students of this group, you must be reading the Economic Times, if not on a daily basis, on a regular basis, and you must know something about the Indian stock market, the Indian debt market. You should be able to talk about that. Even if you have not done those as subjects, because there are certain things all around you that you need to know. Similarly, let's say when we talk of banks, we talk of banking regulators, we talk of SEBI, we talk of RBI's role. Now, some of that you may have done as part of your subjects, but your subjects will have a syllabus that may be a little bit dated, because we all know the syllabus takes time to get upgraded. You need to know what's the latest that's happening. So, for example, if right now you have read about Zomato getting oversubscribed, you'd need to know the ins and outs of it and talk about how, for example, certain things are being forecast. Talk about unicorns. Today, the latest word is soonicorn, if you've heard of it, a soon to be unicorn. You can talk about overvaluations if you're not a fan of the script, or you can talk about how this is the next big thing. Either way, your arguments need to be in place. It's not about whether or not you're right. It's about, have you done some research? Do you have a thought process? Are you showing your passion? आपने कुछ reading किया है कि नहीं? The third and fourth, we have already talked of this. The third one is about looking at the website of companies and looking at their details. Fourth one is about the alignment. This is where the Ikigai part comes in. Let me take you to the next slide. You need to jot down, at least a few examples, like just now we were saying, of how you have actually demonstrated certain things. For example, आप मान लीजिए आप इंटरव्यू में कह देते हो, आई एम अ गुड लीडर, मुझ में लीडरशिप क्वालिटीज है. Fine, great. The next question that will come to you is, tell us 1 or 2 situations where you showed leadership. Now, suppose you were the secretary of some club or president of some club and you did something great. Now, what if you were not what's called a person holding a position? Does it mean you don't have leadership? Not necessarily. अगर आपने क्रिएटिविटी का इस्तेमाल करके कुछ ऐसा काम किया, चाहे कॉलेज में हो, चाहे आपके बिल्डिंग में हो, सोसाइटी में हो, मे बी ड्यूरिंग द पैंडेमिक, मे बी इन योर फैमिली परहैप्स, maybe in an online group where you took a stand. Maybe you raised your voice about something. Maybe you helped someone else raise their voice about something. Maybe you amplified a certain message. Maybe you decided to read and learn about something because an article triggered your thought and made you curious or made you upset or made you think कि हाँ इसके बारे में मुझे कुछ सोचना है, करना है. That can also be leadership. You need to know how to bring that out. आप अगर कन्विंस्ड हो दैट यू आर अ चेंज एजेंट, यू आर अ चेंज एजेंट. सो वो कन्विक्शन आपको दुनिया के सामने लानी है. Being a leader does not necessarily mean having a band of followers behind you and doing things ड्रम बजाते हुए कि देखो मैं क्या कर रहा हूं या देखो मैं क्या कर रही हूं. That's not leadership. Leadership is the ability to change things around you for the better. आपने अगर आपके डोमेस्टिक हेल्पर के बच्चे को पढ़ाया है ड्यूरिंग द पैंडेमिक क्योंकि ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में बेचारे को मुश्किल हो रहा था, दैट्स लीडरशिप. आपने अगर कोई फंड रेजिंग किया है इन ऑर्डर टू हेल्प आउट पीपल, दैट्स लीडरशिप. यू डोंट हैव टू हैव अ नेम और अ डेजिग्नेशन और अ टाइटल टू से दैट दिस इज लीडरशिप. सो बी वेरी क्लियर अबाउट दीज थिंग्स, बिकॉज बहुत बार हमने देखा है, स्पेशली आई हैव सीन दिस विद VA स्टूडेंट्स. यू ऑल आर एक्सट्रीमली इंटेलिजेंट, and you all are humble, but very often you don't know the good things you have in you or the good things that you have done. You need someone else to hold a mirror in front of you to say, hey, you're good. So right now, that's why I want you to take a few moments at this point to jot down in the paper next to you. Think of a few examples of your real life situations which brought out good traits in you. Maybe leadership, maybe determination, maybe resilience, जो बोलते हैं ना हार नहीं माननी है. Maybe you have faced certain struggles, but again found the ability to rise to your feet after that. Take a few moments, jot those down. आपको शेयर नहीं करना है, आप सिर्फ अपने लिए कागज कलम का इस्तेमाल करके लिखिए. In case you find this particular point a little challenging and आपको सोचने में थोड़ी बहुत दिक्कत हो रही है कि मैंने ऐसा क्या किया है जिससे मेरे अच्छे क्वालिटीज सामने आते हैं, you can always ask around, ask your family members, ask your siblings, ask your friends. Sometimes we don't know the best in us, but there are others around us, our well-wishers, जो हमारे हितैषी होते हैं, वो हमें बताते हैं that yes, you're good, this is what you have done, and this is who you are. The 6th and 7th points are fairly obvious. Like we mentioned, the general market awareness and trends, and also things which are happening which impact the company. So for example, right now, let's say you're going to apply to banks. You would be aware that the government is in the process of doing some amount of consolidation, some amount of cleaning up. There are also new licenses being talked about that are going to be given to large corporates to have their own banks. So banks and mutual funds, both domains will be seeing growth. You need to know what those trends are. Then there has been some talk that there is going to be a debt recovery sort of system. So all bad loans, bad debts, etc. will be brought under that one entity, and that entity will be then responsible for aggregating all of it. So it's like सारे लोगों का balance sheet clean up करके ये एक entity में डाल दो. Are you in favor of it? Are you against it? Do you know what has happened in other countries in Europe or what has happened in USA when they have done similar things? It's a very interesting thing. Read up on it, find out about it. तो अगर आप कोई बैंक में अप्लाई कर रहे हो तो आसपास का जो वातावरण है, जो माहौल है, उसमें कौन सी चीजें हो रही है ऐसी जिससे वो बैंक के फ्यूचर के ऊपर प्रभाव हो सकता है, उसके बारे में आपको जानना है. You can't be ignorant about things which are likely to have an impact on that organization that you're applying to. So now let's go to 12 common questions. In this slide and the next, we are just going to see a few questions. If you want, you can jot it down, you can take screenshots, you can decide. या तो आप इंटरनेट का इस्तेमाल करके बहुत सारे वेबसाइट से ये क्वेश्चंस आपको मिल सकता है. Whatever I've listed here, I have not taken from internet sources. These are from my own lists, which I use when I am an interviewer and I'm asking questions to candidates. So the first one, like we said, is tell us something about yourself. I have already discussed this in great length. And then you have subject-related technical questions. So for example, if I ask you a costing-based question, or if I were to ask you, let's say, an international finance-based question, or if I ask you about, say, contingent liabilities, or if I ask you about why a debenture redemption reserve should be created, or I ask you about the footnotes which appear at the end of a balance sheet, you need to be able to answer that and have some more in your mind. Meaning, अगर आप देखो कि छोटा संक्षिप्त आंसर देने के बाद तभी भी silence है, you can always ask, may I elaborate more, or can I give examples, or can I talk about exceptions to it? So for example, if we talk about, let's say in stock market, you have something called a beta, and that is the movement of the stock, the price of the stock in ratio to the price movement of, let's say, the Sensex, if you're taking that, or the Nifty or whatever. And there are companies with a negative beta. यानी कि स्टॉक मार्केट अगर ऊपर जा रहा है तो ये कंपनी का प्राइस नीचे की तरफ जा रहा है. So what does that indicate? Is it good, bad? Does it depend upon the industry? Is it something that's an aberration, or is it something that's normal and always there? find out about it. तो आप जितना रीडिंग करोगे, not just of your textbooks, but more importantly, like I mentioned, say newspapers, be it Economic Times or any other financial newspaper or websites, the stronger you will have the grasp on these things. Number three is a question which is usually horribly done by most students, strengths and weaknesses. Why I'm saying horribly is, जितने सारे कोचिंग क्लासेस होते हैं बहुत बार वो हमें कहते हैं कि वीकनेसेस में वीकनेसेस मत बताओ, से थिंग्स लाइक आई एम वेरी डिटेल ओरिएंटेड and therefore I get stressed because I'm very meticulous. And in my mind, I have a rude term the moment I hear that answer. I want to say, buddy, you're talking nonsense. We know that's not your weakness. Maybe anger is your weakness. Maybe something else is your weakness. आपको बताना नहीं है, that's okay. Now the question is then, should we be honest and say, yeah, I get angry very fast. गुस्से में आ जाता हूँ तो चीजें तोड़फोड़ करने लगता हूँ. Obviously not. That's not what we are talking about. What we are saying is, amongst your weaknesses, there will be some that you can definitely talk about in a way which is constructive. For example, let's say, assume I'm an introvert and I'm not very fond of public speaking. मान लो. And if I say that this was something I struggled with in school and maybe in the early years of college, but then after some reflection, I realized that this is not something to be avoided. So therefore, I trained myself. And the first few times when I did public speaking, my hands were trembling, my voice was quivering, मेरा गला सूख रहा था, but then in spite of it, I went forward. I'm still only 40-50% there, but I think I will get better. And I'm following a few people. Maybe I'm watching YouTube videos, or maybe I have followed a certain coach's advice, etc. I'm trying to make myself better. Now, that is an authentic answer. So it needs to be something which is genuine, and it needs to be something constructive on which you have worked. So please choose. Just like we've got a lot of strengths, we also have usually a bunch of weaknesses. And I won't even use the word weaknesses, I would say areas which give you the potential to improve yourself. Choose one of those areas or two of those areas where you have actually tried to make a difference in your own life. You've tried to change yourself. Maybe, for example, if you're someone who used to wake up late and you were clueless about life and not motivated, and now you're getting more clued in and you're getting a little more ambitious, and you say, मुझे life में ये चीजें करनी है, मुझे ये देखना है, ये करना है, ये पाना है. You have those goals and dreams, and therefore now
Yes, students, please wait. Madam will join.
Yeah, am I visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. At what point did you all lose the connection? Anushka, if you could just tell me.
Ma'am, it was on the slide 12 questions, one slide.
Okay, okay. So I'll just go back there, no worries. Okay. Was this the part that we talked about? You all were able to hear it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have come to this part and we were just saying कि role models का जो question है, handle this well. Have 2 to 3 examples of different people you consider as role models. For example, if you say Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, you may have an interviewer who cross questions you. And that person may say that, no, this person doesn't deserve to be a role model. Or don't you think he or she has done XYZ things? Now, you need to know how to keep your stand. And of course, to be able to say that, look, no human being is perfect, but these are the 2-3 traits which I really admire. And I would like to have similar traits in myself. Hobbies and books you read. This is again an underutilized question. आप सभी लोग यहाँ पे जो हो, आप intelligent हो, आप creative हो. Some of you are good at artwork, some of you are good at drawing, some of you may be good at rangoli making, making mandalas, etc. Some of you are good at cooking, baking, some of you are good singers, dancers, some of you are sports enthusiasts, maybe yoga people, maybe you are into Zumba, maybe you are into some other kind of activity, swimming, jogging, etc. आप athletic type के इंसान शायद हो, या शायद आप नहीं हो. Maybe you're the kind who likes to watch movies, listen to songs, maybe you like to read books. Whatever you do it meaningfully, mindfully, with purpose and with passion. Maybe you're reading Tintin and Asterix, but if I ask you a question, can you then answer? Maybe you have seen all the Harry Potter movies. If I ask you a question, can you answer? It doesn't matter what is the hobby you're picking. Can you show how it makes you a better person? So, for example, if you ask me, I love to listen to music. That's one of the things which really uplifts my mind. Average, I will have around 450 odd songs on my mobile phone, and I have different folders. So I'll classify them in different categories. In different languages, by the way. I'll have at least 6 different languages. I'm just guessing, I haven't checked, but multiple different languages. Now, the thing is, if you were to ask me, why is listening to music a hobby? I can actually tell you how it evokes certain emotions, how every category helps to bring out certain traits in me, how this can become a go-to for me, which is very therapeutic, very beautiful, very calming, or cheerful and uplifting based on my mood, based on the circumstances. So it's not about the music per se, it's about how you're able to utilize it to show that you're becoming a better person. It can be anything. You could be doodling. You could just be a great doodler. You could be someone making memes. Can you show how you're adding maybe laughter into the world? Can you show how your memes make other people smile? If yes, that's a meaningful, mindful choice that you're doing. Number 11, why do you want to work with us? In the brackets, I've written 3-part answer. A, who you are. B, what the company needs. C, how you and what the company needs are aligned. It's as simple as that. So we have already talked of that in great detail कि आपको homework करना है, उनके website से पढ़ना है, Economic Times वगैरह दूसरे newspapers से आपको देखना है, what are the market trends, so that you're able to tweak your answers. And students, if this feels like a lot, please understand it's not a lot. आप जो भी homework करोगे, that's going to help you for all companies. And the last is a kind of a hypothetical question. This is a tricky one. आपको पूछा जा सकता है कि in this situation, what would you do? And it's an ethical dilemma. It could be related to bribery, or it can be related to anything. Or suppose you could change something of your past, what would you do? यहाँ पे आपको सोच समझ के जवाब देना है. Very obviously, as an honest person, you're going to say that I will be ethical. But then the matter doesn't end there. If you're in a situation where you're asked to be unethical so that others can benefit, now how do you navigate your way? If you say, nahi, main bura kaam nahi karunga, and that's it, the solution is not reached. So this is where our creativity comes in, and we show how clarity and courage are fine, but उसके साथ साथ creativity की भी ज़रूरत है, so that we find a solution to whatever is a problem the company is facing. And this is a hypothetical situation. So in terms of strategies, let me just tell you a few strategies. I've put the first one in red because I find this to be the most common error. Out of sheer nervousness, candidates in interviews forget to listen to the question. हम पूछते कुछ है, जवाब कुछ और मिलता है. Listen carefully. Just take a deep breath. Listen. Listen with ठहराव. Listen with understanding. If you're not sure if you got it right, say that I'm just going to paraphrase a question. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Structure your answer in a few points. Give a brief synopsis and then elaborate more. Be honest. Give examples. And show your analysis. For example, if I give you a question, how many white cars are there in Mumbai? Now you'll be thinking, ये क्या googly question मैम ने पूछा है? ऐसा कोई पूछता है क्या? ये तो stress interview हो गया. Not necessarily. What we are trying to see when we ask you a question is, how are you thinking logically in the absence of data? So rather than reaching for Google and finding an answer, are you able to think? So you can start off with Mumbai's population. You can say, okay, we are 20 million people or whatever. Then take a certain percentage of that who will be having vehicles. So let's say you say on an average, 8 to 10% of them are going to be vehicle owners. Now, vehicle can mean 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers. So in that, you say maybe another 2% of that is going to be 4-wheeler owners. तो आपको वापस एक number मिलेगा. Now within that, talk of the spectrum of proper colors which are there, and you will say, okay, typically you will have perhaps a choice of 8 colors or 10 colors, but as per probability, white being a monochrome is likely to have a greater probability than others. It will not have the same probability as, let's say, certain unusual colors. So you make an estimation, and therefore you derive your answer from all this. That is what is meant by analytical process of thinking. We are not trying to see if you are getting the perfect answer. उसके लिए Google बाबा है. We are trying to see आपको सोचना आता है क्या? How do you start from scratch and then build up on that and go ahead? That brings us to the next point. जब answer पता नहीं हो तो क्या करें? Be honest about it. Talk about something which you know. Ask for permission to share. I'll share with you my own example. When I got into my investment banking firm, that particular company, India's largest actually merchant banking firm, I'll not mention the name here, they had just done a major issue of their parent bank in USA. And they were talking of ADRs, American Depository Receipts, and they were asking me, do you know where the stamp comes, where the seal comes, etc. And every time they did that, I would say, I'm not very sure, but logic says this is what it must be. Then who are the signatories, etc., etc. But I kept bringing them back to the things that I did know about what they were asking. Now, again, that has to be done respectfully. You can't be doing it in a manipulative way because they'll obviously see through it, and that gives a very bad feeling. One doesn't do that. The rest of it we have said, so this part is understood. The only word here that I would draw your attention to is attitude. See, let's understand, when you're applying to a company is looking at you as an employee who's going to be there for several years. आपके इंटरव्यू के लिए जितना समय वो लोग दे रहे हैं, that is a cost which will be an investment provided you're a worthwhile candidate and stays with them for a long time. The biggest factor for that is attitude. More than your marks, more than your knowledge, more than the skills that you have when it comes to your subjects, it's your attitude. Attitude में अगर arrogance है, for example, that's a put off. If it's a person who's like a know-it-all, मुझे सब कुछ आता है, I'm the best, that's a put off. I'm very good, others are also good, it's supplementary, that is great. So being confident is very nice, but confidence does not mean we are not being humble. Confidence के साथ साथ humility होता है, not arrogance. So the way in which you answer questions, your body language, all those indicate where you are. Luckily, we find most candidates are in the proper zone, meaning they're intelligent and yet humble. So stay that way. If anyone tells you you have to project confidence, please know that is not correct. कुछ project नहीं करना होता है. आप अंदर से confident हो, वो ही आप दिखाते हो दुनिया को. Trying to give an exaggerated impression, trying not to show weaknesses, trying not to show vulnerabilities, that puts people off. Because everybody knows who we all are as human beings and what the journey of a person is through every decade of life. So at the end of it, as we reach our conclusion, I wanted to share with you just two things in the coming two slides. One is again Einstein, who talks about how the more you know, the lesser will be the ego. ये जो रेशियो है, आप इससे आपको पता चलता है ये ईगो छोटा होता जाता है as your knowledge goes on increasing, because the more you read, the more you learn, the more you study, the more you realize, my God, how little I know. कितना कुछ है जानने के लिए, सीखने के लिए. And that keeps you humble and grounded. And finally, कोई भी टास्क आपको जब ओवरवेलमिंग लगे, आपको टाइम टेबल बना के पढ़ना है. आज आपने इंटरव्यू का वेबिनार सुना, तो नाउ यू हैव टू डू सम होमवर्क, यू हैव टू बिगिन वर्किंग ऑन योरसेल्फ, एंड यू फील हाउ विल आई डू इट, कैसे होगा मेरे से. मैं शुरुआत तो कर लूंगा या कर लूंगी, लेकिन उसके बाद क्या. Just pick up one task at a time, just one task, one thing at a time, tick it off. Again, one thing at a time, tick it off. And then pat yourself for what you do well. हम भूल जाते हैं खुद को शाबाशी देना. जब छोटे थे और केजी में थे, हमारी टीचर नोटबुक में स्टार बनाती थी, स्माइली देती थी, वी गुड करके लिख के देती थी, एंड वी वुड रन होम ऑल एक्साइटेड एंड शो इट टू आवर पेरेंट्स एंड से, देखो मुझे आज स्टार मिला है, स्माइली मिला है. We need to give those stars and smileys to ourselves as we grow up. And that's one of the beautiful things of a grown-up person, that you don't need someone else to validate you and tell you, yes, wow, you're doing a great job. You're self-aware enough and intelligent enough to do that for yourself. So you be your biggest cheerleader. You be your biggest supporter. You be your biggest support. And whenever you feel overwhelmed, just break up a large task into smaller parts and do it, one thing at a time. Before you realize, you're going to look around and realize you have made a lot of progress. Believe me, I'm not just speaking as a Westlac person, but just as one human being to another, this actually works. इससे बहुत फर्क पड़ता है. Create your own brand. Your name should be your brand. When people say your name, it should be with a sense of respect and awe that yes, he or she is something. So on that note, we conclude the session. Thank you so much for your patience, students. I'm just going to come out of the slide sharing mode and get back into our session where you can now raise your questions. Okay. You can use the audio if you want, or you can put it up on chat if you have any questions. Okay, Lavina, that's a very good question that you've asked. Yes. So, Lavina, what you need to do is, this is something that's going to require your skill. You need to be authentic about what you're doing. At the same time, you cannot directly tell them that after 2 years or 3 years, I'm going to go out somewhere for higher studies, perhaps. So you need to say that, as of now, my plans for the next 2-3 years are this. After this, based on how I grow, what inputs I'm able to get from the company, what contribution I'm able to make to the company, I will take a call as to which is the best thing for me as well as for the company. Show them that as an intelligent person, you are seeing mutual benefits, you are seeing mutual value add and a mutual convergence right now for the next 2 to 3 years. See, because even if you go for higher studies, I'm guessing you will do that after getting some amount of learning and, let's say, knowledge about the industry. You'll not go for it right away. You'll also get to earn some money. You'll be able to build your network and your contacts. You'll get your industry experience. Typically, that takes 2 to 3 years. So what you do is, therefore, talk about what you plan to do in 2-3 years. And then if somebody asks you more, you can always say that you're going to realign and recast your map in future. So that way you're staying honest, but at the same time, you're not making any false promises. That's a very good question, Lavina, that you've asked, because this is indeed a dilemma. And like I said, you've got to be honest. So how do you stay honest, but at the same time, not put the company off? Most welcome. Most welcome, dear. Yes, Lakshmi. So that's a good thing again that you've asked. So you just need to use your instinct. I'll give you a clue. In an online interview, suppose you find one person asking you, tell me something about yourself, but when you're looking into the camera, there are 3 or 4 interviewers. The others are looking down. They can be seen flipping through some pages, or they're toggling through certain things which have been given to them online, etc. They're not paying attention to what you're saying. That means it's an icebreaker question and you use the short version. Whereas when they ask you the question, if everybody is looking at you and they're listening to you and they're not distracted and not doing anything else, that's a time to use the longer version. Another thing that you can use as a strategy, start with the longer one and say, would you like me to elaborate? And I personally find that very smart, because in a way you're letting the other person choose. You're letting the interviewer choose about it. Okay. I'm not quite sure, Mohammed Parvez, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'll ask you to re-explain your question. You're most welcome, Lakshmi. Very good questions, by the way, are coming in.
Parvez, you can unmute and ask, ma'am.
Yes. So if you're asking about mother tongue, is English compulsory? If that's what you're asking, not always. It depends on the company you're applying to. There are a lot of companies who are perfectly all right with Hindi and various Indian languages. And the reason for that is intelligence is not linked to the language we speak. ऐसा नहीं कि आप सिर्फ अंग्रेजी में बात करो तो आप intelligent हो और दूसरे भाषाओं में बात करो तो intelligent नहीं हो. There's no such correlation. But it all depends on the company. If you're applying to a foreign bank, then definitely your English skills do matter. Now, does it mean you have to talk with an accent and use big words? No. Please understand, students, communication is not so much about the words and accent. It is about your clarity of your knowledge. वो अगर आपके दिमाग में ठीक से है, आप कोई भी भाषा में बोलो, कोई भी accent का इस्तेमाल करो, you can use your mother tongue or any other language, you'll make your point. But like I said, the profile matters. So it's also about which place you're applying to. So yes, Mohammed, that was a good question that you've asked. English is not necessarily compulsory, but it helps to be familiar with English. So what I would suggest, not just to you, Mohammed, but to the others as well, अगर आपको लगता है कि आपकी अंग्रेजी उतनी ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं है, आपको और थोड़ा आपकी जो काबिलियत है उसमें बढ़ानी है, start listening to Indian English programs, maybe the news channels, good news channels, please, are not the ones where people are going all hysterical. Read magazines like the Reader's Digest, read newspapers, read articles in various kinds of publications. आप mobile phone पे apps के through Washington Post, Huffington Post, जो थोड़े international publications है, उनके जो short articles है, उसको पढ़िए. Your vocabulary gets better, your familiarity gets better. And spoken English जब आप सुनते हो, तो उच्चारण कैसे होता है, pronunciation कैसे होती है, ये सारी चीजें automatically in a very subconscious way you end up incorporating that into your life. But then don't worry about it. I can tell you one thing. In today's trends of companies, language is not so much of a deal maker or a deal breaker. It's not like 30 years before that if you didn't speak in English, there was a problem. Several decades before, this was definitely an issue. Today, it is not. Today, we are happily multicultural, much more happily multicultural, and that's the way it should be. A country like India with so many different languages, to say that we should just be good at one or two, that's too simplistic, and that doesn't do justice to us. So good question, Mohammed. If we have any more quick questions, you can let me know if there is any last question. Okay, we can get confused. Yes, Lakshmi, that does happen. So what we could do is, in such a time, firstly, take a deep breath to calm yourself down, because when we get confused, it becomes what we call a vicious circle. Because we are confused, we get agitated. Because we are agitated, we get more confused. and then we start stuttering and fumbling with words. So सबसे पहले खुद का जो माइंड है उसको मैनेज कर लीजिए. Breathe deep. If you can, drink water. Then what I would suggest to you, Lakshmi, for the question you've asked, paraphrase your understanding of the question. Now it could be you misinterpreted the question, in which case the person clarifies and you come to know कि हाँ इसका आंसर तो मुझे आता है. Now suppose आंसर नहीं हो तो फिर क्या करें? In that case you simply say, I'm sorry, I don't have the answer to this question, or I'm sorry, I'm not able to answer that, or I'm sorry, I don't recollect that, or I don't know about that. So be honest. And you are saying it with a tone of apology so that you know that you're presenting yourself right. ऐसा नहीं कि हाँ मुझे आता नहीं है, big deal. You're not being arrogant. At the same time, like I mentioned, respectfully try and link that to something related to what you do know. So, but then the last part is a bit of a, I would say, tricky situation. It's not easy. A lot depends on the person in front of you. To use a very crude word, अगर खड़ूस किस्म का इंसान है and you know that person is not going to have a very good attitude, then don't try this last strategy. For example, when I did it for one of my interviews, I knew the people were very sweet. They were experienced elderly gentlemen. They were very sweet. So they knew that what I was trying to do and they were okay with me showing what I did know. So ये last वाला strategy carefully use करें. How do you come up with an answer on the spot? Anisha, usually this is not a recommended strategy. Don't try to come up with an answer on the spot. An interview question has to be answered using what is already there inside your head. If you're trying to generate something, that can only happen if it is a hypothetical situation. जैसे कि अभी हमने कहा, if I give you an ethics related situation or I ask you, what would you take with you if you were stranded on an island? Name 5 things. Now then you have to come up with an answer on the spot. But if I ask you what are the latest of RBI's challenges, then that's not an answer you need to come up with on the spot. That's a knowledge-based answer, not an imaginative answer. So Anisha, learn to distinguish between these two types of questions and reduce the category of questions, the number of questions which come in the second part of imagination, because that's where the challenge will lie. How do you still do it? Think as if it's not an interview. Think as if you're just answering to a friend. Now, I know that's not easy. It calls for some training. The main key is to ease off the pressure from yourself. Your mind will be creative enough to come up with the answer on the spot, Anisha, for the imagination-based questions. So start practicing from now by writing out the answers to some of the questions I showed you all on the slides. And think of what else can be asked and read up. There are lots of websites. I'm not going to name any of them, but you know what they are. Read up from them. Okay, so Anisha, I hope that helps you. Okay, so Shifa, you are asking again an ethics-based question. So we just answered that a while back. The answer will clearly be no, but I would do this. Meaning I'm not going to lie for the company, but I will find a solution for whatever is troubling the company because of which you're asking me to lie for the company. So Shifa, be very clear about this. Do not ever imagine that if you say yes to this, you get selected because you're considered as being practical. No. Companies today, the best of companies are very ethical, and the ones who hire you because you say yes are not the ones who are working for. आज अगर आपको बोल रहे हैं कि आप झूठ बोलो और आपको हायर करते हैं because you're willing to tell a lie, tomorrow you don't know what they ask you to do and you don't know what you have to face as a consequence. So be very smart from the beginning, be quality conscious about whom you apply to. So like we said, handle it with creativity. Say, no, I will not lie, but I will do A, B, C, D. And I can share with you my own real life example. I was asked such a question and I got an on-the-spot job offer from one of India's largest private sector banks because I said, I'm not going to do this. It was a bribe question that was asked, but I will do A, B, C, D. I will talk to the person. I will convince him this way, blah, blah, blah. You figure out aapko kya bolna hai. Yeah, so Hina, why should we hire you? Like we said, 3-part answer. That was question 11 in our slide. So A, the traits and qualities you have. B, what the company is doing now and in future. C, how the two join. ABC, 3-part answer. I hope that helps you, Hina. Yes, Lakshmi, you're most welcome. Manisha, most welcome. Shifa, most welcome. Good. So we're just going to be concluding. I'm just going to check the chat once more. Yeah, I think we have finished with all the questions. Lovely questions, by the way. Nice to know that you all have been thinking along with the slides that you all have been reading and along with whatever I've been talking. So good to see that your thinking caps were being worn and being used. Wish you all the very best. Get started from now when it comes to this wonderful journey of knowing who I am and of course knowing about your subjects as well and doing the homework for your company. Believe me, it's a rich journey. It's a very good process. काफी सारी चीजें आज हमने डिस्कस करी. आपको अगर लगता है कि ऐसे सेशंस और होने चाहिए, let us know in feedback. I'm going to request Anushka to just share the Google Form feedback link on the chat, and please reach out to us at veslak@gmail.com if you have any queries, any suggestions. आपको अगर counseling के लिए हमें approach करना है, I'm just going to put up on the chat box. It's very simple. It's veslak@gmail.com, and I'm sharing with you the number of Veslak as well. Anytime you want to use WhatsApp or call us, take an appointment, meet our counselors, you want to just vent, you want to talk, you want to get some clarity, you want someone's help to organize what's running in your head, feel free to reach out to us. And there are no charges for students. So you don't need to worry. And everything is kept confidential. It's only between counselor and student. We have for your college Ms. Meeta Brahmabhat, who's our senior counselor. She's a counselor for your college. Everything is kept only with the counselor in terms of records. So you don't have to ever think कि मैंने अगर कुछ share किया तो बाहर के लोगों को पता नहीं चलेगा क्या? पता नहीं चलेगा. We don't share and divulge that information to anybody at all. In the meantime, again, I would request, let's please make sure we give feedback, because for us, feedback is very important in Veslak. If you think such sessions should be held for our other sister institutes or other departments of your college, please let us know in the Google feedback form. So, Anushka, are you just sharing with us the link? Anushka, are you there? Can you hear us? I think for some reason, I'm not able to hear her, or we might have lost the connection. Not a problem. Shanti Lakshmi ma'am, I'd probably take your help and request for your help.
Yes, ma'am.
So we will share the form with you.
Yes, ma'am.
We will just request for the feedback, because as
Yes.
you know in Veslak, that's a very important part for us. Oh, okay, not a problem. Anushka has just written in the chat, network issue. Anushka, you can, just share the form with ma'am and she'll share it with the students. So thank you so much. And
I will also like to thank you, ma'am, Pia ma'am, and really great session. The students have, I am sure that they have got a lot of insight. They have got a good direction to start with at an early stage, I should say, as you have rightly pointed out. Anyhow, the interview is going to happen somewhere in December or Jan only. But right now, reading economics times, reading the books and preparing themselves with the material, that is going to really give them the good start, I should say. And so much of the insight they have got, I'm sure the students, you have also derived and you have also asked questions. That itself shows that you are very much interested. Thanks a lot, ma'am, Pia ma'am, that the great efforts that you have put in. And Anushka ma'am, thanks a lot for coordinating this. Thank you, both of you all. And students, thank you also. You have attended and you have taken good direction from Pia ma'am. And I hope that we'll achieve success with the direction Pia ma'am has shown us. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. And thanks to all the students for giving such beautiful thank you messages in the chat box. These are like bouquets of flowers coming our way. Thank you so much, my dears. Stay happy and stay blessed. If you have any more questions, reach out to us over email, please. You need to go for your lunch and then you need to go for your future classes. So